All right, guys, FSD Beta 10.69.1.1 Tesla Model S Plaid. We're going to do some suburban testing with suburban areas, suburban roads with speed bumps, as well as some other obstacles. We're going to see how FSD drives. All right, speed bumps coming up here. Let's see if it visualizes them and if it slows down. Pretty fast, 18 miles an hour. We'll probably go a lot slower here, but we'll see. So far, so good. Nice and smooth, nice and composed, going up a winding mountain road, so to speak. Not as severe as our other use case, but it is pretty tight and curbs are pretty high over here. So we gotta be careful. And there's a sequence with a lot of speed bumps in a row, so we'll see how it takes it. Okay. For those that are new to FSD Beta, just know that when your wheel or your yoke turns to a certain degree, the road bends to a certain degree, causing the wheel or the yoke to turn, it's going to turn on the turn signal. So just be aware of that. Okay, very good. We did a great job with the unprotected left. The car did a great job seeing down the road. That's always been the concern, is how far down the road can it actually see based on the positioning of the camera. So it did a pretty good job. A little too close to this curb, starting to adjust itself now. Always stop. Now it's going. Okay. Speed bumps right here, cresting on the hill. Way too fast. Well, luckily they were brand new and pretty smooth, but way too fast. 24 miles, 25 miles an hour. Now it sees this one properly and now it starts to slow down again. But the other one cresting the hill, that's an issue. I'm gonna flag that for the team to take a look at that and see what's going on there. Couldn't really discern the peak of the hill versus the speed bump. It was going pretty fast there. Starting to get over as well for that car, which it did pretty good on as well. As you can see, that car can now get through. And we're going. Visuals are nice and calm, which gives me the perception that the car is nice and stable in that regard. That's kind of the goal here, is making sure that it has that. There's that creep limit that we're talking about here. It's the new term that we're going to use, creep limit. We'll coin that. Not creep wall, not creep network. We'll call it creep limit. Okay. Speed limit is rendering nicely here. 40 miles an hour on the right road, not 50 miles an hour in a park. So that should be good. Asking for my feedback as always. I'm going to be on the ready, or I'll just leave my hand here. Not a problem. Take off for the turns. But overall, very impressed. Very, very impressed with the improvements in stability and level of comfort that they've added from 10.12 to now 10.13 / or AKA 10.69.1.1. Okay, so this will probably be our last drive before, if 10.69.2 doesn't come out this weekend, this will probably be our last drive. Otherwise, we will take this to New York City and see how it fares while we wait for 10.69.2. Just want to make sure that there's enough time and enough adjustments that have been made before we take it into New York City, because that's the ultimate test for a vision-based only system, because the roads are never the same from day to day, from week to week. The conditions are always changing. So it's really going to be reliant on your vision and a human's ability to see, just as it would be the machine's ability to see and recognize things around it, and not just go based off of memory or go based off of map data or based on what it knows with previous video clips as its memory. Suspension raising based on the bumpiness of the road. Good feature, adding that as well. Again, just our teenage driver in this car is growing. It's getting better. It's getting more mature. And that's what we want to look for here with this latest build. Still can't avoid the potholes and manhole covers. Got to work on that. If it's too bad, depending on where I go, especially when I go to New York, if it's too bad, I'm going to be intervening a lot, just because we have the 21s on this one, and they don't fare really well against potholes, really deep potholes, like you find in New York City. Okay. For those wondering or just new to the channel, again, please consider subscribing. Also like the video if you like this presentation, this demonstration of FSD Beta. It's raw, unfiltered, not sponsored, just showing you the truth about FSD Beta in the Model S Plaid. Good job avoiding that car, and we have the right green light turn. It's gonna make it. Again, I'm just gonna be extra cautious, looking at that, making sure I intervene as needed. So I did a pretty good job there. Just getting over to the next lane, which is good as well. Keeping good speed, keeping good pace. And now we're gonna go down a really, really steep and winding road, similar to our famous Devil's Backbone, similar to Lombard Street. But we're gonna go down that road right now. And that's also going to be a good test for FSD Beta because it's very steep. It's blind on the right side as you go down it. And as you see it right here, it's about to come up here. And there's a big retaining wall there. So definitely conscious of how close it gets to that in this turn, especially with other cars passing us. So here we go. Very, very close. Just trying to get over. Like I said, if it turns the wheel a certain degree, it's going to put on the turn signal, but it didn't intend to change lanes. Just going to be extra cautious here because it's very, very steep. As you see, the indicators of the proximity sensors are going off pretty bad. Pretty big dip here and a really, really big dip here. I'm gonna let this one go because it's kind of smooth, but it is deep. It's not too hard. So I didn't intervene there. Okay, and some more winding paths here. Again, I'm holding up a lot of traffic. So I'll just speed up a little bit to 35 to see if that helps. School bus, another winding road, and drivers passing me. Let's see what happens. Hopefully no one gets startled because it gets really tight right here, especially by the double yellow lines. Good job, good job, good job, good job. So you see that person is really, really close to the barrier there. So very challenging conditions here. Another car's looking to pass with his double parked car. Can he go fast? Can he go fast? Can he go fast? Go faster, sir, please. Thank you. Good job, Tesla, staying composed. Okay, then it has to kind of get in here. Now I'm going to get ready to take over because this never seems like it has enough space for this car to fit, and I don't want it to hit the shrubs coming over. There's some shrubs here that are really, really close. I don't want it to intervene there. I want it to intervene so it doesn't actually hit those because it doesn't have a concept of the shrubs. So now taking this left turn here, getting in the left turning lane. I do have a left turn signal. Good job here. Good job here. Car pulling in, slows down, and these streets are also pretty narrow. It's gonna go around. I like the speed that it took that. It didn't go really fast. Pedestrian is looking to cross. It's not gonna let him cross, but it's gonna go pretty slow. Not the best scenario there, but I'll let that slide. Should have either committed and just gone straight or let the person go. Okay. Lines are barely visible. It does a good job extrapolating what those lines would look like. A lot of debris on the side. Big truck here and a car is coming. Let's see what happens. Going to fit. Especially the edges of those tow trucks are pretty difficult to see the depth of them. Pretty good job. I'm going to speed up a little bit just because cars are starting to pile up behind me. To 34 here, just to keep up with the flow of how traffic is piling up behind me. But otherwise, great. I'm really, really happy with this one. I'm not going to get too technical with the analysis of it, and I'm not being overly critical of it as well. I'm just having a certain expectation. I know someone mentioned that I was being critical or overly critical. It's not about being overly critical. It's just about making sure that we are holding up a certain standard from which we want these to be in. And for us, this technology needs to be safe enough to be able to have my kids in the car. If my kids, I don't feel comfortable to have my kids in the car while having this on, then it's not good enough for me, right? So that's the level of standard that I hold it to, similar to a school bus driver. It has to drive like a school bus driver with the level of caution that a school bus driver would have, right? And not be indecisive. We trust our families with school bus drivers, going back to our familiar turn here. So we trust them to drive a certain way. And so with that same level of confidence, we want this car to be able to drive in that same capacity. Obviously thinking about the future of having a completely driverless situation where we can just sort of fall asleep in the car and wake up. But in order to get there, we have to hold it to some level, some standard that we adhere to. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. It doesn't have to drive absolutely perfect, but it has to drive with enough comfort and not get too close to this curb like that, like a human driver would drive. And that's what we hold it to. And that's the things that we mentioned over and over again. The issues about staying straight in the lane, hesitation, herky-jerky, whatever the case may be, is just based on that level of comfort. Okay? I'm sure Elon holds it to a much, much higher standard. But for us, this is what we're thinking about in terms of will we buy this again for another car? Will we actually use it with the kids in the car? Things of that nature. It's just based on that level of comfort. Right now, the kid is never really in the car when this is on, unless it's on the highway. The highway version is at that level where it's very comfortable, very confident, very predictable, so that we understand, good job slowing down for the cyclist, so that we understand that, hey, it's good enough for us to use with our kids in the car. City streets, not so much just yet, but this is very inspiring. This is very encouraging towards that direction of comfort that we're looking for so far in this area. But again, we'll put it through its paces, get it to New York City, do the full real test, and then see where it really is in terms of all of its capabilities right now. So far, so good. I'm very impressed. I'm very happy with what I'm seeing, with what I'm feeling, with what I'm experiencing in the car here. All right, so pretty much from here on out, it's our same sort of test path, going to this coffee shop to grab something to eat that we typically do here for our test pass. And this is pretty straightforward. We already did this in a couple videos ago. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know how it did in this sort of suburban area, suburban roads with speed bumps, not visualized, but adhered to, cresting hills, making turns, making decisions based on real world activity that's happening, okay? These are the things that we want to be able to measure. We want to be able to see, and hopefully soon, whoever's watching this video, you guys will see it too if you don't already have it. I know you guys are in the safety score boat. I understand that pain. I've been there before. It's pretty frustrating. Hang in there. It'll come soon. And when it comes, you'll have this product coming to you, which is going to be great. So you'll go from having regular autopilot, highway autopilot, enhanced autopilot, whatever the case may be, to having a fully fleshed out product that feels really, really confident thanks to the work of all the developers and all the testers around the world. So stay tuned. It's sort of a win-win situation. If you win, you get it early, you can access it early. If you don't get it early and you get it later, you're going to get the best version of it or the better version of it that's going to be more comfortable and confidence inspiring. Okay, so let me know your thoughts in the comments. Until the next time.
Enjoy your day. Enjoy your Tesla.